Gibraltar are in FM24 for the first time ever. I mean, technically every nation's in for the first time ever, but Gibraltar are in the game. The vanilla version of the game. I guess for the first time ever. I'm not sure, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. This intro's getting away from me. Gibraltar are in the game. They were here last year. So we're going to go and do some experiments. That's the top and bottom of it. Today's experiment is Max Youth Rating. Of course, you've seen the thumbnail. You've seen the title. We give the nation of Gibraltar Max Youth Rating 200 out of 200, but we also go to every club team in the nation and give them Max Youth Facilities, Max Youth Recruitment. Then we simulate through. Used to be 100 years on the last FM, or maybe 150 if we were feeling a bit cheeky. Well, this year, FM simulates so bloody fast, 250 years coming at you today. We are going to see if we can win Champions Leagues, World Cups, the lot. Let's go. And here we go then. We are looking at the Gibraltar League. There are all the teams we've got notes on. Of course, Lynx, the deodorant makers from Gibraltar. Albert Parody, eh? There's a joke there somewhere. Make it yourselves. I can't be bothered. Too early for a bad pun. Right, the best teams. Lincoln Red Imps, of course, are the best team. They've been winning it. Javier Munoz is their manager, and he looks meh, doesn't he? Europa FC have been second, and Mario is their manager, who looks even worse, doesn't he? Let's be real. Right. Anyway, we're getting away from the matter at hand. 114th is the place for the league, and we'll come back and look at the national team in a moment. But let's have a quick look at College 75. There you go. Training facilities, youth recruitment, and junior coaching, all at 20. This team was only... College 1975 was founded in 2015. Make that make sense. I don't know. Oh, right. The Gibraltar, then. 202nd in the world. The captain is Roy Cipollina, who's 40, and he plays for Lincoln Red Imps. He's played centre-back, central mid, and striker. 5 goals for Gibraltar. Roy Cipollina. Liam Walker is actually not terrible. I mean, I'm not sure why he's got 12 crossing when he's a central midfielder, but 35 years young. Again, being a bit all over the place. Been to Lincoln Red. Look at these career stats. Lincoln Red Imps, went to Europa, then to Notts County, come back to Europa, then Lincoln Red Imps again. And of course, we'll have a just quick cheeky look at the nation generated players. There you go, 200 out of 200. So we're not going to mess about. To begin with, we're going to jump through a smooth 100 years into the future. We're going to do 2 stops, 100 years, and then 250-ish years, whatever we got to in the simulation. But if we have success, we may come back and look at some of the best players of that time, because I feel it'd be quite interesting if Gibraltar win the World Cup in the 2050, 60s. So let's say 20, I mean, that's a bit ambitious. Okay, let's say 2080s, Gibraltar have won a World Cup, or they finished 3rd place. Maybe we'll come back and look at the squad, just to see how good their squad was, and maybe compared to the World Cup winners, we'll sort of do a bit of that. So anyway, don't know why I'm explaining all this, because you'll see it in a minute. We're going to go through 100 years. But before we do, if you like this kind of thing, please do subscribe to the channel. I begged last time on a video, and yeah, few of you obliged. So we're doing it again. Hit that subscribe button. That's all I'm going to say. Carry on watching, of course. Look at that. 6 hours, 56 minutes for a 100-year simulation of this. I mean, there is only the Gibraltar League, so, you know, a bit more leagues, it would take longer to simulate, but still, it's fantastic. What I will say is most people would go, God, that's less than a night's sleep. Not for me. That's about 3 times the night's sleep I'm currently getting. He still doesn't sleep. 3-month-old baby. Oh, look at this. A potential ability player of 198 is Ibrahim Al-Swileh, and he's actually playing for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. He's on £55 a week. I bet. I mean, look at that. They've got this guy who's on 1.4 million. You're moving New Jam faced, of course, because, yeah, that's what happens. In terms of potential ability, right, current ability then, let's have a look at currents. Best players in the world. We are looking for a Gibraltar. And we've got one here. Ian Coombs playing for Manchester United. And then Will Davis playing for Bayern Munich. So, Ian Coombs, left back. Very good player. 24 years old. £190,000 a week playing for Man United. Moved from Lions for £54 million. So that means there's a little bit of money coming in to the Gibraltar League, which is music to my ears. Will Davis as well, he moved from Europa FC for 39.5 million, and he looks a very good player as well. Unfortunately, we're scrolling down now, and we're hitting like the 170s, and we've got another one here, Samuel Ayre playing for Real Madrid. Again, £109 million from Liverpool this time. He moved from Lincoln Red Imps for 20.5 million. Well, let's go and have a look at the Gibraltar Football League then and see how we're getting on. Okay, so it splits, the league splits. I'm not sure exactly where we're at, but we're in 11th, and that's 103 places climbed in 100 years. So they're climbing a place a year. So by 11 years' time, they should be first, or 10 years' time. Maths. Yeah. So Lincoln Red Imps won it for 23 years. I mean, longer, really, because they won it before the experiment began. But in the experiment for 23 years, then Man 62 came through with 4 in 5 years. St. Joseph's won 3 in the spin. Then Europa FC got 1. And then it was just passed around between a few different teams. Then Europa won, basically 9 out of 10. Another 2 there. And then Man 62 again, Glassis, Magpies, Mons Calpe, Lynx, and Lions have won 1. So yeah, quite a few teams have been passing it around more recently, which is actually really good. Really good to see. The national team is 14th. The national team is 14th. Right, okay, well, let's have a quick look at Europe, the Conference League. So going back to the start, we're going to quickly scroll up this. We're not looking at other nations of who's won. Things might pop in, but there you go. Europa FC in 79-80, winning a Conference League. Man 62 run up to Union Berlin. Lynx runner-up. Lynx won it in 04-05, then runner-up in 08-09 to Fiorentina. Lions the following season run up to Lille. Mons Calpe in 2021, and that's it. We are there. Europa League then, there's probably going to be no one in the Europa League. Probably not quite there. Are we? No, doesn't look like it. I mean, it took to the 80s to win a Conference League. So the Europa League is a huge step up, and there has been no one. In terms of Champions Leagues, I would have thought there'd be no one as well. And we're just going to go down the lists. But I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing any notes. No one's going to have won it this early on. No, of course they haven't. So that no championship. So they've had a few Conference Leagues up to this point, and there you go. So the national team then, 14th in the world. So in terms of the Euros, there has not been a win for Gibraltar, although they did come runner-up in 2104. They also came runner-up in 2084. The 2 runners-up for Gibraltar, not doing too badly. But in terms of the World Cup, we have a win in 2050. That is really soon, isn't it? 27 years. I mean, I suppose if you've got the Max Youth Rating, players start coming through instantly or in the first 5 years. Very impressive. No other wins, no runners up whatsoever. Switzerland runner up there against Spain, Chile as well. Gibraltar coming 3rd in 2098. They came run up in the Euros, not a million miles away from this. So we had a bit of a golden generation there. I want to see who won this World Cup though in 2050. But before we do that, let's have a quick look at the current squad. We've got current ability and potential ability locked on here, and here we go. So we've seen Ian Coombs, we've seen Will Davis, Danny Porter at 174, currently playing for, he was at Bayern, moved to United, he's now at Tottenham. United didn't really play him after buying him for 103 million. St. Joseph sold him for nearly 50 million to Bayern Munich. And he's a good player, 169 out of 174. Don't know what United are doing, but fine. Some very good players here. Some very good players. Hamed Al-Harbi. Yeah, quite a few over the 150s, which is really good to see. Really good to see, to be fair. So 2050 then. Let's go back to 2051 and just see how they got on in that World Cup then. So the World Cup final was a 2-1 win against Spain. Should we watch the goals? Leave it on director cam, fine, whatever. Shelley into Stewart, 1-0 after 4 minutes. It's the mighty Spain. Spain then did hit back on the 36th minute. Lovely ball to Ibarra, who finished off nicely. Yeah, very, very nicely done. And then a corner. Near post header. Oh, it was a near post header winning the World Cup. Jack Christie with the goal. He scored the winner in the World Cup final. Not a terrible player. He's 32 now, was 31. He's done the rounds a bit. He's plays for Tottenham, but he's not done the rounds a bit. He did early doors, moved a couple of places in Portugal. But Tottenham bought him for 12.75 million, and they've played him a lot. He's been a good squad player for Tottenham over the years. Callum Stewart, on the other hand, well, he has moved to Atletico Madrid from Newcastle for 38.5 million. Newcastle didn't. No, they got him for free, and they just never played him. Nearly ruined him, but he's a very good player. Who else played well? Sam Shelley getting a 7.6, playing for West Ham currently. Well, let's have a look at the national team then. And look at this, Joe Dawson, 188. Manchester City's own Joe Dawson. That is Manchester City's own. He moved from Glassis United for free. Heartbreaking when you see that. Get a bit of money into the Gibraltar League. The current squad, though, that we saw, present day, is better than this World Cup winning squad. That's a given. I'll tell you that for free. So let's go through to the end of 250 years. I know it seems a bit anticlimactic to jump all the way there now, but we might be coming back and looking at different years and different intervals. But yeah, let's go and have a look. So last time we were about here, it was being shared around a lot, and it continued But then it started to become a bit college 75-y, and then it became very college 75-y, and then it became even more college 75-y, to the point where college 75 won the league for essentially 40, 50 years, 60 years. Mons Calpe have come through. After finishing second to College 75 quite a bit, they've come and nicked a couple, lost a couple to College 75, but then come through with 14 years of dominance. Europa Point managed to sneak one, but then Mons Calpe again for about another 10 years. And Man 62 and Mons Calpe again dominating all the way up here. And Man 62 winning quite a few in more recent times, basically taking 80% of the last 15 years, I'd say. We're in 2282, so we are 259 years in the future. That was good maths. Yeah, 259 years into the future, and yeah, there we go. So, in terms of the league record, College 75 have the most wins, unsurprisingly. Although, they actually have the fewest points in a season in 1920 in real life. So, we've somehow managed to, help them out. Anyway, right, what we saying? The Gibraltar national team is in third. Oh, that's boding well. Right, I'm expecting some big things to be happening. Let's go and check in on Europe first then. Yeah, so Mons Calpe won it in 2021 and 21-21, should I say. Then he won it again in 39-40. Scrolling up then, looking through the Conference League, and actually there's not been a lot of winners. I'm hoping that we're too good for it now. Lions in 79-80. Europa Point winning, coming runner-up, in 22-07-08. Got quite a few years to scroll through, but unfortunately not seeing much. Magpies in 55-56 with the win. And that's it. Bit of a poor showing. We had no Europa Leagues, but we actually got a runners-up. The season we were last here, Mons Calpe runner-up to Arsenal. And then they've come up again to Arsenal in 35-36. Europa Point to Real Hispalis in 36-37. Europa Point again to Newcastle in 42-43. We're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Lynx again against Valor, 59-60. Mons Calpe, runner-up to Rangers. Hey, and Lynx have won in 79-80, and then Mons Calpe managed to win in 81-82. Lions runner-up to Djurgardens in 85-86. Lynx then running up again to St. Gallen, 89-90. Lincoln Red Imps run up to Rosenborg at the turn of the century. Then Europa Point 7 years later against West Ham. St. Joseph's lost to Lyon in 22-17-18. So not lots of wins, but Europa Point have got a win. Europa Point have got the win. Lincoln Red Imps run up to LASK. And that's it. Disappointing indeed. In terms of Champions Leagues, we were here last time, and I'm not sure if we're going to have anything. College 75 runners up in 53-54, Only won two back-to-back here, 63-64 and 64-65. Runners up in 67 and 68, and then another two wins in 69 and 70. So that's four so far for them. Four so far. Any advance on that? Another runner-up to Liverpool there. And another win in 84-85. Another win in 88-89. Another runner-up in 91-92. Oh, four in a row for College 75. From 99 to 2000, all the way up to the 2003 final. Then he won it again in 2007, 2010 and 2012. Runner-up in 2008. They actually beat Mons Calpe in 22-06-07. So that's an all-Gibraltar final. Oh, and a repeat of that final. So Mons Calpe have won another there, so that's another one for Mons Calpe, 22-12-13. But a repeat of the final, College 75 versus Mons Calpe. Mons Calpe extracting their revenge in 22-17-18, and they won another couple. How many have they won overall? 12 Champions Leagues for Mons Calpe. 13 for College 75. Well, oh, it could not be more tense. Mons Calpe there with three more. We've seen they've won quite a few, so we've absolutely dominated in Champions Leagues, post the 100-year mark. Not absolutely dominated, but you know what I mean. Man 62 coming through with a few, coming through four in the last 15 years. A few more runners up for Mons Calpe, but very good. Very good indeed. Right, it's time for the national team. Gibraltar. And the Euros. Well, Spain have won a hell of a lot of Euros, haven't they? So we were last here, and we'd seen Gibraltar had come runner-up, not once, but twice, in the first 100 year of the simulation. And then going through further, and now we see back-to-back runners-up for Gibraltar, losing to Portugal and England. England winning 3 in a row, beating Spain twice. Then Portugal-Gibraltar final once more in 21-52, set in England. And Yeah, we runner-up once again. Scrolling through, Gibraltar again runner-up to Italy. And then Spain, 2 tournaments later. Oh, Spain winning 5 in a row most recently, and 2 more runners-up for Gibraltar. So, of course, 21-50, we saw Gibraltar win the World Cup. Lots of runners-up in the Euros. 9, to be precise. I've just gone and had a look at how many that was. 9 in total. Well, we're looking through here, and we can see 21-46 up here for Gibraltar. Runner-up the tournament before to Brazil. We saw them 3rd place there. So, runner-up against Brazil. Won the following tournament against Italy. Brazil coming 3rd. Wonder if they managed to beat them in the semi-final. We'll go back to 21-46. We will be going back. 3rd place for Gibraltar here. I had to add a note. I didn't realise you could add a note on national teams. Don't know why I didn't think it. Another win, 22-58. Gibraltar beating England. And that was just 20-odd years ago. But only 3. So we've had 3 World Cups, no Euros. We've got 1 runner-up in the World Cup. 9 runners-up in the European Championships. The under-19 Euros, they've won 23 times. Runner-up 22. Work that one out. Okay, so let's go back to current world. David Billington's in charge. They were 5th. They've now dropped to 6th. It was the World Cup then. They won on penalties against Italy. They beat Brazil in the semi-finals. Brendan Stevenson, which is actually very interesting because I did say that having lost to Brazil in 2042, I wonder if they managed to knock them out in the semi-final. Well, they did. They actually won 2-0. Brendan Stevenson with the penalty and Michael Smith also with the goal. He's not great, is he? Although he's getting £475,000 a week at Barcelona. Right, I'm not having this. Right, Gibraltar, wait, in your squad. Michael Smith, 164. Yeah, decent, but not nearly £500,000 a week good. Paul Salter, goalkeeper, world class. Yes, please, have a bit of that. Danny Poole, also playing for Barcelona. Nathan Crowther, Liverpool. Again, all right as a team. Some good players, but I still think the 100-year team was a bit better. You know, that's just me being honest. Okay. Not a lot to look at. So should we go back through it? Well, let's go through to 22-58 and have a look at the next World Cup winning team. Oh, look at this player. Hammond Kier, 199 out of 199 in terms of current ability. What a player. Garnon playing for Real Madrid. What a player. Anyway, we've not come back to look at him. Come back to look at the Gibraltar team. Currently 5th in the world ranking, and looking back on the World Cup final, they won 2-1 against England with Sam Tate and James Egan with the goals. So Sam Tate is playing for Real Madrid on 89k a week. He looks all right. He's a squad player. James Egan moved from Galatasaray to Real Madrid for £107 million with quite possibly the worst regen face I've ever seen. And that's saying something. That is shocking. Like, I don't know how Football Manager has made the regen faces even worse, but they have. I'm just at a loss, which is why I do a lot of importing faces in. New Jan, Mid Journey, all that jazz. So yeah, and some of the isolated experiments, prepare to be seeing some decent faces in there. Not this rubbish. I've completely lost my trail of thought because of this. This is offending me. Right. James Egan. Right, let's go have a look at the actual squad. So he is the best player, James Egan. 179 out of 179. And he looked very good, didn't he? Playing for Real Madrid. £107 million bought from Galatasaray. Galatasaray paid £168 million for him from Europa Point. And then they sold him on for a £61 million loss a few years later. I don't get that. I really don't get it. Graham French, 165 current ability, 189 potential. He's 21. He's currently contracted to Mons Calpe. Will he get there? Well, we won't see, but hopefully he will. Hopefully he will. Okay, so I mean that's the squad. I mean it's nothing really massively to write home about. They've got some very good players, but for the 3rd time they've won the World Cup, not surprised they haven't won a Euros. I'm surprised they managed to win the World Cup with this team. I think they've got some very good players over the 160, like what 5, 6. But you're looking at only 3 in the 150s, and then all the way down here 130s. For me, that's not good enough as a World Cup winning squad. I mean they did win the World Cup, so it is good enough, but not for my money. I wouldn't have put the money on them. But that's that. Let's go and have a look at the end, and let's have a look through Ballon d'Ors. Okay, so World Golden Ball. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to present day. And it's been killing Mbappe for the first few years. Lamine Yamal also won a few. Need to sort his face pack out. Laziness, really. And the first Gibraltarian was Trevor Davis for Manchester United at 28 years young. He was pretty good. He moved to Atletico Madrid afterwards. There you go. 25 in 38 he got. Musa Namoko is actually playing for College 75, and so is Andreas Homan playing for College 75, but not getting the trophy. Sorry, not from Gibraltar. They're actually German and Malian respectively. Here we go. John Holding for College 75 wins it 2 years out of 3 at the start of this century. And here we go. Phil Davidson in 30-31, followed by Kevin Hutchins the following season. Phil Davidson was 3rd. And then you've got Kai Janssen, who's actually Dutch, but he was playing for Mons Calpe. So you've actually got a lot of Gibraltarian representation in the 2230s. Kai Janssen again winning it. Duarte Vendero looks pretty good, doesn't he? Won quite a few Ballon d'Ors in a row. Unfortunately, he's not quite still there, but let's go back to 2067. I want to look at Duarte Vendero because he looks like he's an absolute world beater. Here we are, Duarte Vendero, as promised, and I know he's nothing to do with the Gibraltar, but look how good he is. It's phenomenal. His potential ability is 197. Never got to his potential then. He's 30 and he's down at 187. He still won the bloody Ballon d'Or like 7 or 8 years in a row, and we came in like 4th halfway through, so he still won it for the next like 3 or 4 years. Moved from Sparta Prague for 154 million, so that's impressive, isn't it? So there we go then. That is the end of today's experiment. We have simulated through Gibraltar. Have won 3 World Cups. We've had quite a few Champions League, 25 Champions Leagues to Gibraltar over the course of the experiment. Maybe more, no, much more. 13 for one team, 12 and a few dotted around. So we're probably talking 30 plus Champions Leagues overall. A world ranking of 3rd for the national team. The league has got a 4.5-star reputation. Unfortunately, it is down in 10th, but that's not because it's rubbish. That's because every league has got a 4.5-star potential. Reputation all the way down to the Cypriot League in 36th. I don't know what I've just done there. I've just clicked something and it's just done something weird. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Thank you very much for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. Let me know in the comments down below anything else you would like to see. Actually, before we do leave, they all play in the same stadium, don't they? Well, they're not anymore. They've all built different stadiums and they've got a minimum. The Lions Stadium is 20,500 and the Mons Calpe Stadium, the Avisar Stadium, 125,242. And the population of Gibraltar is just over 32,500 people. So you're talking just under 33,000 people, and every single one of those stadiums is bigger than that. There you go then. That's it. Thank you for watching. Please do come back soon. Like I say, comments down below any other ideas of experiments that you want to see on the channel coming in the future. But take good care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.